I now call the Crosby Township Board of Trustees regular meeting to order for July 8th, 2024. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Bear with me, I'm batting second string here. My boss is on vacation. Mr. Lohman.
Here.
Mr. Hyab.
Here.
Mr. Heiss.
Here.
Approval of the minutes for the special meeting held May 17th, 2024.
So move.
I second it.
Roll call.
Mr. Hyab.
Yes.
Mr. Heiss.
Yes.
Approval of the minutes for the regular meeting held June 10th, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Lohman.
Yes.
Yes.
Approval to pay the bills as have been presented over the past month.
So move.
I second.
Roll call.
Mr. Lohman.
Yes.
Mr. Hyab.
Yes.
Mr. Heiss.
Yes.
Okay, correspondence. There was a Board of Health meeting today at 4 p.m. There's a Fernald annual site report for 2023 is available online. If anybody was on New Haven Road today, they'll realize that it's closed between Edgewood and Short Road and until I believe the end of October. But you can still get from Edgewood on the New Haven Road going westbound only. Hamilton County Local Emergency Planning Committee, which is LEPC, has a meeting Wednesday at 9 a.m. in Hamilton County Education Service Center, 11083 Hamilton Avenue. And that's all I have for correspondence. Dennis
Basically had the same thing, nothing else.
and Chuck.
Yeah, I got email from the Hamilton Board of Election. It's a new voter outreach. It's a lot of information on the computer. The website is BOE Connect at BOE-Hamilton County GOP. The Ohio Township Association newsletter have an update. There's a House Bill 315 about Township. A lot of changes coming up, and it passed the House 93-0. Now in the Senate, it's for all preserves July 2024 month of against. The Hamilton County Health 2024 report online. I got a handout from the TC Energy booklets on pipeline emergency response information. And the Butler World Communities Connection have a golf outing coming up on August the 9th. It's at the Indian Ridge Golf Club in Hamilton. That's all I have.
One thing I bring up, Hamilton County Community Fair is this week from the 10th to the 13th up at Stricker's Grove, so you go up and patronize 4-H kids. They'd appreciate it.
Thanks. Chuck. So we're going to move the fire report up till now for a special reason. So Chief Davis.
June run totals, we had 43 EMS details, 45 fire details, for a total of 88 details during June. Our three newest career firefighter paramedics started shift work in April. Tonight, those three will be officially sworn in and receive their department badge. At this point in time, I'd like to have all three members meet me up front along with the person pinning their badge. I don't know. No, I don't think so. Magna here. Burns in the middle. Burns in the middle. Maddie Davidson. Maddie received her fire and EMT training through the Great Oaks program. She completed her paramedic training through Cincinnati State in 2023. She has worked part-time for Glendale, Whitewater, and Pierce Township. She was full-time with Lynchburg Fire Department before joining Crosby Township. Maddie has been assigned to the crew on Unit 1, and pinning her badge will be Mike Regan. Jeremy Burns. Jeremy has been in the fire service since 2011. He received his fire and EMT training through the Great Oaks program as well. He completed his paramedic training through the University of Cincinnati in 2013. He's worked part-time for Green Hills, Woodlawn, and Whitewater Township. And he was full-time in Springfield Township and Woodlawn before joining Crosby Township. Jeremy's been assigned to crew Unit 2. Pending his badge will be his daughters, Emery and Abby. Terry Southern. Terry received his fire and EMT training through the Great Oaks program. He completed his paramedic training through Cincinnati State in 2004. He's been in the fire service since 1998. Has worked part-time for Green Township, Colerain Township, and Ross Township. He was full-time in the city of Hamilton before joining Crosby Township. Terry has been assigned to the crew on Unit 3. And then pending his badge will be his son, Aiden. Please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jeremy Burns,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the state of Ohio.
and I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties
I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties
as a firefighter paramedic for Crosby Township Fire Department,
as a firefighter paramedic for Crosby Township Fire Department,
according to the laws of the State of Ohio,
according to the laws of the state of Ohio,
to the best of my skills and abilities.
to the best of my skills and abilities.
I will honor and respect
I will honor and respect
the mission, goals, and policies
the mission, goals, and policies
of Crosby Township
of Crosby Township
and the Crosby Township Fire Department.
and the Crosby Township Fire Department.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You may pin badge. Congratulations, welcome to the family.
Thanks, sir.
Congratulations, welcome to the family. Congratulations, welcome to the family. Your three newest career firefighter paramedics. Thank you. You're all free to go at the station. Go out. Dinner. We'll take other stations. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Davis, and congratulations to the 3 new firefighters. So now we'll go on to Sheriff, Lieutenant Stuckey.
All right, so the June statistics or the stats for June Crosby Township was we had 2 criminal reports, 3 non-criminal reports. We had 105 calls for service. We did not use divert this past month, and for those who don't know, the divert is the social service that we are now using with our domestic violence calls. We had 2 cases assigned to our detectives. None of those were closed this last month, and we had 5 auto accidents and no DUI OVI arrest. So I'm going to take off after this if there's any questions. I spoke to a few people in the audience already. If there's anything else,
Do you have anything else with, because she's going
I'm
to probably be
gonna-
able to do more
yeah.
help than we.
good? All right. All right, thank you very much.
I have one thing. I live on Alcrook Road. One of my neighbors complained about motorcycle. I guess the particular one go flying. And there's a bend north of my house. I think they come out of that bend, they kick off.
Okay.
So I can hear them at night sometime, but the motorcycle seems to be going faster than all because it's smaller. But I got the particular time, so I'm not sure. I told her I would tell you about it, but
Do we have a block range or where, an intersection?
now she get called me on the phone, and I can't get into detail. All she said was supposedly one of them that go flying.
Okay.
But there's a lot of motorcycles go up Oxford Road because I think they go up into Morgan Township. So,
All right.
but if I get any more information, I'll let you know. But so,
All righty. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else, public at large?
Sorry about that. First, I want to say thank you, Dennis, for coming over and meeting with
Could
us last.
just say who you are first. And
Sorry.
Name and
Sorry.
address, please.
Thank you for coming over and meeting with us and taking care of 2 of the 3 things. So what's up with the 3rd thing?
The third thing is when we bring on the new maintenance supervisor, and then I'm gonna run it past him, and we'll iron something out.
Okay, because the guy that lives in the house has got video if somebody needs to see it, and it actually looks like a river coming down through there if somebody wants.
And I know it rained hard that
Yeah.
last big rain, and I
Yeah.
figured you probably had some water in the garage.
Yep.
So, but I'm gonna wait. Jim Niehaus is gonna probably be our new maintenance supervisor. He knows more about blacktop than I do.
Okay,
So I'm gonna wait. He's gonna start probably the way it looks the 1st of August.
okay.
And, once when he comes,
for the
Oh,
record. You said
there
there
was
was-
a hole that Duke Energy dug in front of my dad's house and threw a skid on it 3-4 years ago, and the skid deteriorated, and the maintenance department came over and removed it and scraped the dirt and leveled it all off, made it look very nice. And then there were, on another piece of our property, one of the drainage tile, it's not a drainage tile, it's a catch basin that had a concrete lid on it, got broke. And they came over and rearranged it and put it back together so that I was afraid a kid would step in it and break their leg, and they put it back and made it look very nice.
now, one thing that I'm looking into is the speeding down Long Street. Looking at putting speed bumps in,
That'd be awesome.
so we're gonna bring that up tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Anybody else? Did you want to get up and talk? Just say who you are and then why you're here. And where you live.
Hi, I'm Bob Kugler, Bowling Kugler Realty. I live in Ross Township, and I'm here basically on behalf of the Cheryl Bowling, owner of property on Blue Rock Road. I have an exhibit if you'd like to have it. Would it be okay to give to you?
Thank you.
Sir, what's your name again?
Bob Kugler, Bowling
Kugler, okay.
Myron Bowling developed the corner of Blue Rock and New Haven Road. And after he developed those commercial lots there, he passed away. And before he passed away, he bought this piece of property next door. This was part of Fort Scott development at the time, apparently. And we're just inquiring what we can do there. But there was a deed restriction in regards to that piece for a park or for a firehouse.
Right.
And apparently it wasn't enforced when the development happened, and he bought it from the previous developer. And we're inquiring to see if we could split the property, develop it, or what we'd be permitted to do with the property.
Well,
Where's Rick?
yeah, we need,
I can go get him and do that.
yeah, see if Rick's busy, because we need his perspective on this.
What,
Or we could
can I ask you,
hold it up till Zach.
who owns the property now?
Cheryl Bowling owns the
How do you
property.
spell the last name?
Bowling.
Bowling, okay, and that was due to the death of,
Her husband, Myron.
Myron Bowling died, okay.
Rick knows about the property. I spoke with him about this also.
Was this, is this the property that it went into foreclosure because there was a mortgage on it? And it returned to the original owner?
You're on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about that, sir, but it probably
Yeah,
is.
and it's supposed to be green space. It was gonna be a future location of a
Firehouse.
firehouse. Yeah.
That was a promise made by the original builder, but that was where the firehouse was supposed to be built, before Scott was built.
That was written into the PUD as green space or public space, so therefore it would have to go for a zone change.
Right.
He'll be here in a second.
Billy?
The interesting thing was why it was never transferred, I guess. And Myron purchased it, and it was never.
He knew that when he purchased it, though, too, that it was restricted at the time.
Correct. I don't understand.
I thought one of his sons showed up at a meeting.
Well, he was here, and then
Yeah, I remember he was here.
later,
Yeah. Was one of the sons here at one time?
He only has one son.
Only one son? Okay.
he was
Sure.
here,
Oh, I know that. Yeah, yeah.
but I don't remember anybody else.
Question?
It was one of those things that because the housing development fell through from the first developer, everything got messed up. And we never did take possession of it. And then it went back into, did we take possession? It was,
The developer transferred and recorded this is one of the first things that happened when I started working for the township. He decided to record a deed, because that was part of the plan. It was, I think, an impact fee for the Fort Scott. So, without having the mortgage removed on the property, he transferred title and a deed to the township, but the mortgage was still on it. And Mr.
News Cable.
News Cable, yeah, they foreclosed on it, and then he got the property back, and then, I guess, sold it to Mr. Bowling.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah, okay. They want a zone change. Not, we have to go through the process, but.
What do they want to change to? Right now, it's residential.
Well, we're inquiring what we could do with it, if it's residential, if we could split it into 3 lots and sell it, that would be ideal.
Yeah, I mean, you can apply. This has been tried before. It's been turned down. But yeah, you're welcome to apply, and once you put together a plan, because it's part of a PUD and they just can't You know, you have to give us a specific plan as to what you want to do with it. If it wasn't for the plan unit development, you wouldn't have to do that, but in this case you do. But it is already zoned residential. The problem is that it's for township use only. And that would have to be taken off, that township use only, as far as I would understand it.
Is there an expiration date on the PUDs? Because we had another piece of property.
I'm sorry, you'll have to stand up and speak.
I had.
You have to,
In a microphone.
you have to state your name.
Cheryl Bowling. I just had a question. We had another piece of property that had a PUD on it, and that it expired. And so is there an expiration date on these?
No. Nothing,
Ever?
no, nothing in the PUD, there was nothing in there.
Okay, all right. It's just a question. Thank you.
So they would just have to apply for a zone change.
Well, it's not a zone change, it's that, it's more or less you gotta take the use of township use only, it's gonna have to be taken off of it.
Okay.
Would that be up for the township to do that?
That has to go through county planning, I believe.
Is that the step that would have to do is,
Be one of the steps, yeah.
because we're going something that I haven't done before.
See, that part of the Fort Scott development, there's a number of residential homes that could be built on that group of property. And I have to check to see if that figure has been met or how many more units can really be built for that segment of the property. But as far as what Alan said, is this that stipulation for township use is what's going to have to be taken off. If that's taken off, then it's still residential property.
Right.
Does there have to be a certain amount of green space for the development, though, that was part of it?
I'd have to look at the map and see what's exactly there.
We talking about 8.8 acres, something?
It's
like
right at 9 acres.
that? 9 acres.
I mean, would the township be amicable to taking that off, that deed restriction?
Well, that goes to the public hearing, and as far as the township's concerned, I can't answer that one way or the other. It's not my response.
There'll be a change to the PUD plus a zoning change. You gotta do a change to a PUD, it has to come back.
So we have to go down to the county?
Well,
Has to be approved by the
reviewed
county.
by commission to regional planning for comments, and then back here.
Okay.
Could Gordon explain that on here so that the people at home can hear that?
Yeah.
If you speak out there, they can't hear you and they don't know what your reply is. And it's probably going to be a question. Just speak right into there.
Tell who you are, too.
I'm Gordon Wong with the zoning commission, Crosby Zoning Commission. Since it is a PUD is a zone change, the PUD will actually have to come back as a major change. It could be major or minor, but minor can be held in-house, but it's really considered a major change because you're changing what it was used for.
Right.
So planning commission or zoning commission will have a hearing on it, a public hearing for what it is going to be used for. We would send our recommendations then to Regional Planning Commission for comments on that. And everyone should be doing a review on lot coverage, the impact of the area. If it's a commercial, what's the effect on the sewer system and traffic around there, and the type of use, because we had a certain area that was just for light industry. So if it makes it through those steps, then it would come back to I believe the trustees for a final approval of writing off on it.
So that they would have to take and initiate the process with the zoning commission?
Correct.
Okay, so then they got to contact the zoning commission through Rick or?
They'd have to make application for a meeting with the zoning commission, because the zoning commission are the ones who make that decision for the PUDs.
Okay.
We good?
All right.
So if you want to make the application, I can give you an application and tell you the steps that you have to do, and then go from there.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Now, unless you had a fireside sale, you wanted to sell it to the township and we'd be interested, that'd be another avenue, but, you know, I don't know what we're capable of paying. We'd have to see,
Or part of it.
right, so,
Make an offer.
huh?
You're welcome to make an offer on it.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about it. All right.
Anybody else? Okay, then we'll go on to legal. Alan?
Yes, we're finally going to get that order from the court to issue a certificate of title to that truck. And I think the judge is going to sign the order this week, and then we'll get it certified, and then maybe the maintenance department can, or I'm not sure who with the township could get the certificate of title issued to the truck, and then you can get plates.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right, then for maintenance department, Dennis has been covering for that.
All right. Got a lot of stuff, so bear with me. So we had the first aid station over there. I took and opened it up and went through, and all the medicines that were in it were outdated, so we had to throw that. I went down to CVS and bought new. The eye wash station was something that was carried over for 30 years. I popped it open, and if somebody would have washed their eyes out with the fluid that was in there, we had to take them to the hospital because it was past due. So I had Rick Losey Camp installed last Friday, a new eye wash station. And so we got it hooked up to well water so we don't have to worry about the solution going bad that was in the eye wash. While Rick was there, he performed the backflow test on the maintenance building. That backflow valve was put in there because it was a new building. This building doesn't have it because it wasn't required at the time. So he performed that, and it passed. Also, the air conditioner was out in the office. I contacted Cooker and Harness. They came out. The guy thought that it had the fitting, tightened it, recharged it. Well, it didn't hold. And he kind of thought maybe we needed you have to suck all the refrigerator out, drain it, and dry it out, and then put a new coupling on it, because the one that's on it, it won't hold. So they're coming tomorrow to get that done. We went over to the park over on River Road. There's concrete picnic tables. 3 of the tables, the seats were broke off and they were just hanging on by rebar. So we got lucky. Everything is bolted together, all the concrete pieces. And we took a star chisel and knocked all the mortar out around the bolts, and they all came out, and we loaded them up on the truck, and it's sitting over there in the lot. So we got nothing but sound tables over there. So we got that fixed. There was 2 dead trees over there. I contacted Cincinnati Tree Service. He gave me an estimate to remove them for $385. They're gone. So we had that done. What is today? Today's Monday. Last Thursday, we had Hamilton County Public Health come in, did training on stormwater management, and inspected the premises for our M6 permit. So we got that out of the way. The lady from Soil and Water is going to type it up, and then she'll email it to me, and I'll sign off on it. We provided barricades for Fort Scott for their parade for July 4th. And Bruce Cornett, one of the guys that works for us, there's an old lawnmower they don't use over there. He wants to buy it and is willing to give $20 for it. I need approval to let him have it. I missed it on the last meeting, so I got it on this one. So if you want to, somebody want to make a motion and take care of
So
that.
it doesn't work?
Huh?
It doesn't work?
No, but he.
That's all right to do that?
It's of no value. You
Okay.
can dispose of it as you wish.
Right, so I make a motion to sell the mower to Bruce Cornett, a maintenance employee, for $20.
I second it.
Roll call,
Mr. Wellman,
yes.
Mr. Hyde,
Yes.
Mr. Heiss,
Yes.
to make sure that $20 makes its way back to the fiscal officer's office.
I'll try to get it from there to here. And my question is here these last couple of spring, we've been having more trouble getting the flowers around our Crosby Township signs. Do we want to just go ahead and plant shrubs that we can just trim and not worry about flowers, or do we? I mean, they look good, but Bruce goes out every third day and waters them to keep them alive because they're planted into the mulch. They're not really down into the dirt.
I'll look into it.
Okay.
And look, because the problem, we may do some like perennials or something that would come back and bloom.
Yeah, because we're spending
Right.
fair
We
amount
gotten
of
a bill-
money.
We haven't gotten a bill yet, I don't
No,
think, this year.
but, you
Right.
know, it's something we need to think about.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
Okay, and then at the last meeting, you got a quote from Cochran and Harness to do a maintenance contract on this building. I looked into it, there's 3 units up there. They're the air conditioning and the heating units, they're all up there. So, their quote includes the air filters. They come here twice a year in the spring to look at the air conditioning part, in the fall to look at the heat part. And we had a quote for $1,059.85. I don't think that's too bad. And so I think we need to,
You want to make a motion?
I move that we accept their estimate for maintenance contract for the community center
I'll second it.
for $1,059.85.
Mr. Wellman,
Yes.
Mr. Hyde,
Yes.
Mr. Heiss.
Yes. Done with.
And then I would like to have an executive session to talk. He's not here right now, but maybe he'll show up later, the new maintenance supervisor, after this is over, and go over his stuff. So other than that, that's pretty much all I have.
Thanks, Dennis. And then we already did fires, so we'll skip over to community coordinator, Brenda.
Thank you.
Brenda Vivian.
Yes, you can even have the other mic there, Vivian. Maybe.
Whoever talks fastest can do the report.
Okay, on your mark, set, go. Okay, I just want to share the senior club July meeting was well attended. We had 35 to 40 people here this past week for a cookout. The members all brought desserts that were very good, and we ended up playing cornhole and inside summer games. So they had a really good time. It was a good night. A good day. Then the July meeting included an interview chat where we got to know Vivian a little better. What we've been doing is a 5-minute chat with Brenda. And we make it informal, but it kind of looks like one of those little sets where you have, the 2 chairs and a little lamp on the table, and I have the mic, and I go, so, tell us more about you. And we're getting to know each other beyond how is weather today and how are you doing. So that's a good thing for us, especially as we're growing. And we're having a lot of folks meeting for the first time. But particularly with Vivian, I just wanted to share that she talked with us about growing up in McCreary County with a large, loving family. Vivian gave us a picture of what it was like for her dad to be a coal miner for 42 years there. And so it was so interesting that we've decided to, I'm putting together a trip to Renfro Valley, an overnight and a show. It's at the same exit of McCreary County, so we'll go the other way the next day, and we're going to actually be able to get on a train they have, tour the mine itself, and where her dad worked, and just get a real sense of the history there. It must be really fascinating, so I'm excited about that. She said it includes a train ride to the company store, and had a lot of interesting things to say. We had a very nice concert with the Harrison Senior Chorus this last month. We had a good audience of our folks here. I think Chuck was even here with us. And then we had a little reception for them, and they were quite surprised. They weren't used. They said, this is the first time we ever had desserts and stuff because we came to sing. So they were happy, and it was good. We enjoyed them a great deal. Last month, our Dinner with Friends event was at Ainsley's Cafe, and it's on Brookville Lake, if you've never been there. Beautiful view of the lake, good food, good prices. It was real hot that day, but it was in the 90s, but we made it. We did all right, and we plan to go back again sometime. A large group of us, I think we had 36 tickets to go to the Reds game, and I think 32 maybe were able to go right at the end. A few couldn't make it, and we couldn't give the tickets away, but we were able to get 2 Council on Aging vans. They're large ones, and we took everybody from here. No parking problem, nothing, just took them right down. We had great seats. Vivian had worked on that, and it was a great day for the Reds. Everybody loved their time out, and they were happy. A lot of folks either had never, I won't say a lot, some had never been to a Reds game or had been so many years, and now they were older and didn't think there'd ever be a way they could get back there. And so it was really cool. We had a good time. Upcoming, the Cincinnati Astronomy Society will be at Fernald Preserve Visitor Center this Friday, July 12th, from 8:30 to 11, and we're planning to meet out there. The seniors will be there because they're doing a presentation on the I can't talk. I'm going to go slower. The exploration of the moon to commemorate Neil Armstrong's walk. And then after, they're going to bring their telescopes and the public can view do stargazing, as they put it. So I think this is kind of a cool way for them to even think about possibly getting over there by North Bend, where the big astronomy setup is, just to go down Willie Road a little bit and just test it out. So I'm excited about that. We will be going to the Farm Restaurant July 25th for Dinner with Friends this month. On Wednesday, July 31st, a group of seniors are going to board the B&B Riverboat Captain's Lunch Cruise. We will leave the center here at 9:30, board for lunch at 11, and it's a 2-hour cruise, and it's at a good price of $41, so we're happy about that. Captain Paul of the Rock and Thunder River Cruise, we like water, if you haven't figured that out yet. We like the view. But we're going to go down to Madison, Indiana with lunch in Louisville, and it continues to be a favorite of our club. This is probably 5th or 6th year that we've done this. And it's really neat because, well, actually, I should say we're reserving 2 boat trips this time. I think we can fill two trips easily on September 16th and 23rd. It's a 75-mile trip. It's about 5 hours, and then we have a great lunch in Louisville with that. So the reservations are filling up fast if you're interested. We have some new members that like to make crafts, and they're interested in teaching and starting a craft class here. So we're looking forward to adding another thing that we might be able to do even when the weather's good out at the shelter. So that's something we've been thinking about. I am working on a summer Crosby community concert series of 3 different concerts that will be appealing, hopefully, to different community folks here in Crosby Township, to be held out at our new shelter. It will be free for everyone to come, good music, maybe even some dancing. I'm working on the publicity right now, refreshments, vendors, whatever I need, kind of putting all that together. And our first concert will be Friday night, August 2nd, from 8 p.m. to 11. Our grand opening band will be Gary Lee and Deja Vu, featuring 60s, 70s, and 80s music. And hopefully by then, I'll have a flyer of the whole rest of the plans and to put in everybody's hand before they leave that night. I also wanted to share that I've just been looking into ideas, prices, whatever, related to renting a van for seniors when we go on activities. I've had permission and done that in the past. I wanted to pull out a 9-passenger van that we had to use once was for $185.93 for one night. We found out that a 15-passenger one is $260 with unlimited mileage, but that's like for one day as well. So given those kind of prices, you know, I'm kind of weighing what's most cost effective. If we can find something that's used and good and possible, I'm gonna, you know, yield to you as trustees to process with me, think with me, and we used to be able to do things with like a smaller van, but the 9-passenger, when you got 40 people, well, how do you pick which 9 gets to ride? And that's when we provide the driver, of course. So it's just something I'm working with to solve, because more and more folks like to do what we're doing, and they have different limitations, and that makes it difficult. So that's where I am with that. I think that's, oh no, I'm not done, sorry. From Melba, Melba Gard, who is the president of the Crosby Township Historical Society, she wanted me to announce that Thursday, July 18th, should be good. Terry Veal will be here, and he's going to do a presentation on Harrison's old mansions. And I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. So that's coming up. I also have out on the table, for those of you that might like an absentee ballot for the election on November the 5th, those forms are out on the table. I can help anybody, you know, in the community that would like any information related to that. And there's also forms if you need to register or you've changed addresses and things like that. So working ahead is always a good plan. Newsletter, how'd I do? Did I get it?
You did great.
Did we nail it? Too much stuff, I know. But anyway, that's what's going on this month.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever contacted the school about doing field trips with the buses? Because they've got handicap buses, big ones now.
No, I've never even thought of using school buses, honestly.
Take the seniors to the Reds game all the time. We
Well,
take Harrison.
we need to talk.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, when you rent a vehicle, do the seniors that use it, do you charge them a nominal fee to offset the cost?
No, we have not.
Okay. I would rather have you look at what they're suggesting than us doing a van that the township owns, because I'm looking at liability, insurance, having a bona fide driver that drives it. I mean, and if you buy a used vehicle, I'm not too keen on that, because then if something happens on the road, you got senior citizens out there on the road stuck.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's not pleasant. So if you could work with Lida there and come up, see what that avenue would do for you.
Sure, I would love to look, you know, talk with you about that. I never even had that in my radar. May I ask a quick question too of you, Alan, if you don't mind? I am unclear about like our car and or what do you call it, insurance for like the passengers or whatever, or car insurance if we own something. Can you just speak to what that entails or what the rules are? Or I just don't even know for sure.
I think you'd have to talk to the insurance company that insures the vehicle.
All right.
Find out what their policy contract covers.
Okay.
'Cause there's always a number of exclusions. So I would go to the agent and say, hey, this is what I want to do, and, you know.
And see whether it's like already covered in some way
Yeah.
or shape, since we already have vehicles. That's what I didn't know. If you already have vehicles, there's already a policy in place, but I don't know what that policy says, you know,
Yeah.
that type of thing.
No,
The driver wouldn't have to have a CDL, would they? I don't think they would.
I don't know.
I've heard they
I
don't.
would
What do
make
you
su-
girls
I would
know?
make sure you understood what the policy coverage is.
Right, that's a good, I mean, yeah, that's what Dennis is kind of saying too, I think.
Yeah,
You have to be an employee when you're driving most of the time. You have to be employed by whoever owns it.
Well, could you go to that mic and say that again? I can't I'm not sure what you're saying. Sorry to make you get up.
Depending on how big the vehicle is and how many passengers it carries, you have to have the driver's license to cover that, however many people it is, and then they have to be employed by whoever owns the vehicle to drive it. That's how the insurance policies work with the school. You have to be a school employee to drive it, and you have to have
makes
the
sense.
license to cover whatever size vehicle it is.
Gotcha. Now, do you have to have a CDL if you have a 15-passenger? Do you know that?
Yep.
You feel that they do? I've heard that they don't, but I didn't
15 and
know.
above is usually where it's at.
Is that 15 is the
Even if they're
magic
not-
number?
If it's not for hire?
Now that I don't know.
I know if it's
I
for
just
hire
know
you do, but
Because the vans that you see all the kids running around with the school are only 3, 6, 7, 8 passengers. And those people don't have to have CDLs. They'd have to go through a safety course. They go through our what do you call them, the driver. They go through a 4-hour course.
Just a small question, and then we don't need to beat this up or anything, but, so if, like we did the one time, we did rent from Enterprise, and we, carry the 9 people, because it's a smaller van. Now, is there some type of, other than just being John Q. Public renting the van, is there something that I should know that anybody knows related to us driving that van then? Because it's from a rental company?
Looking at our carrier, we
But
probably
the
would.
thing is, Brenda, Friday, I'm jumping ahead, but we're going to meet with Otarma on Friday at 10 o'clock. That might be a question for Bob when he shows up on Friday to ask.
Yeah,
I'll make sure you
yeah,
be
we
there.
can look into that.
Okay, that sounds
Yeah,
great, thank you.
I was thinking the same one line as Dennis. That we always insurance. Who would drive it? You need a special license to drive it. I drove a big van when I was in college for floors, and they drive differently than small van. And
The
stuff.
other question is, where are we going to store this van?
So
We're not going to keep it in the parking lot, I hope.
Yeah, maintenance building's full.
I'm thinking.
We'll
this-
take one step at a time. You
Yeah,
take and
let's
get the
think of
information
ideas
from her,
about-
We'll get the information from
Perfect.
Mara, and
Right.
then we'll
Good.
meet next time.
Perfect,
Yeah.
that's fine. Thank you. I
Okay.
just want us to think of things that'll make it work, something work.
Yeah, I was thinking the same way as Dennis, and I wanted a question I want to ask Friday at 10 o'clock, Bob, about liability insurance. So,
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
What happened? You got one driver, you're going to need 2 drivers, or I don't know. So
That's all, I'm all done.
Brenda? All right,
Mm-hmm.
thanks. Fiscal officer standing in for Matt is Brian.
I believe in the Bear Bryant KISS technique, keep it simple, stupid, so this is going to be quick. Hopefully the 2021 audit will be wrapping up by the end of July. The lead auditor was meeting with her supervisor today to go over her report, and she wanted to meet with me today, but she couldn't because of that. So hopefully soon I will be meeting with her. Then again, I'm meeting with Bob Brazelton from Otarma regarding our insurance coverage on Friday at 10 o'clock. I know Dennis said he can't make it. I don't know if it violates sunshine law. I know Chuck said he'll be there. Brenda can show up without violating sunshine. I'll be
Okay.
there. I don't know if the 3 trustees, if anybody received anything from the Hamilton County Planning on a facade program.
I got that today.
Okay. Just wanted to bring that up.
We don't have much of a business district, so I didn't
Well,
think.
but I think, and I don't know, I know like Sam's Mini Mart, he doesn't own the building, but I don't know if the landlord, if they could apply to do some of that, or,
They probably could, but, whether they want to fill out all the paperwork,
Right.
that's
I'm just
the
saying, that
question.
came up, so just to bring that out there. Just a heads up, we appropriated $750,000 for the firehouse expansion a couple months ago. With the first change order, we're up to $746,000. So the next change order, we're probably going to need another supplemental appropriation, just to put the bug in your ear that that's on its way, because I have no idea how much that's going to be.
Right.
We received a bulletin from the auditor of state regarding required fund reporting and training for every employee that must be taken by September the 28th, 2024. I have handouts for all the trustees, Brenda, Vivian, Rick, that we have to take this by, like I said, September the 28th. I need the forms to be turned into the fiscal office, and you'll appreciate this. This is required every 4 years. So don't kill the messenger. We received notice from the state of Ohio on Unemployment Compensation Review Commission regarding a claim filed. So I'd like to have executive commission session to go over that.
To go over what?
We received from the unemployment for a hearing.
Oh, okay.
And then I need, if somebody could make a motion to submit 2025 tentative tax budget to the county. I gave that to everybody before
Yeah,
the
I
meeting
so
started.
move that
Okay.
we approve the
Okay.
budget
I, s-
coming year.
I second it.
Roll call.
Mr. Wilman?
Yes.
Mr. Hyab?
Yes.
Mr. Heiss?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll get that to the county in the morning. And then I think roll in with Mr. Hyab's executive session. I'd like to talk about some other stuff, employee or personnel stuff. And that's all I have.
Any questions? All right, don't go on to zoning, Rick.
We issued 6 permits. We issued 6 permits last month, 2 for decks, 1 for an in-ground pool, 2 for new homes, and 1 for an accessory building. On July 24th at 6:30 PM, the zoning commission will be meeting concerning the parks application for renovation of their seed farm.
Nursery. Their seed nursery.
Yes.
Well, we have to sign, Brian, we have to sign the minutes from the last meeting.
And we can't come to that as trustees.
You asking or telling?
We were always told that, but I'm not sure, that would be an Alan question.
What was the question?
On these zoning meetings,
Yeah,
this one
usually-
is for the redoing the seed nursery. You know, the zoning commission doesn't like to have any trustees there and.
Well, I've recommended that the trustees not attend commission
Well, as long as we
meetings
get a
or
finding
board
of
of,
fact.
or board of zoning,
Yeah, I
zoning
know.
appeal. Just let them do what they have to do.
I know.
And it'll eventually come to you, perhaps, but
I'll have to get
don't,
off the board to go
don't
to
be
it.
in part of it. Don't get involved in that.
That's all I have.
Turn it over to
Wait,
Gordon.
real quick, did you ever, there was that person that complained about those properties on Wiley Road?
Letters have been written, and it's an ongoing problem with that house. And if they don't do something with it, we'll go down to court.
So it's just one house mainly, or?
Well, yeah, it's just that one house. The other complaint was about too many dogs in the yard, and I don't do anything about that.
Okay.
Is that a property maintenance?
Property maintenance.
Okay.
Thanks. And then now Gordon's gonna talk about the,
Hello, Gordon Wong and Jennifer Schneider with the Zoning Commission. About a week ago, I dropped off information regarding zone changes and a copy of the ordinance. I'd like to go over, highlight those items which we have changed and go over that quickly, and then if you have questions on it, we'd be open for that. So, to start off with, I'll go by article. Article 2 section was added to support rules and operations of the Township Zoning Commission. With Regional Planning Commission's comments, the added section was moved to Article 35 with BZA operations. Article 7 provides clarification that anything not clearly defined in the ordinance that the zoning administrator can have the zoning commission provide interpretation. Article 10 eliminates billboards as a permitted use. They will be classified as an existing non-conforming sign. Regional Planning Commission had concerns that this change could violate outdoor advertising. This doesn't ban business signs on their property, only off-site advertising. Lady Bird Johnson Act of 1965 intent was to eliminate billboards on scenic and rural highways. Most areas prohibit off-site advertising. Article 10, language regarding chickens in residential areas was added and cleaned up per Regional Planning Commission's recommendation, removing repetitive language. Article 11.3 prohibits recreational marijuana uses. A draft of an ordinance was provided, and Regional Planning Commission did have some recommendations about regulating this by the trustees separately. Article 14 was a change of lot coverage for public facilities in a residential district. Article 18 provides language for creation of an office area, which the township currently does not have. Per Regional Planning Commission's recommendations, regulation language in the overview was removed. Article 18, 19, and 20, language was added to eliminate new residential developments in commercial areas. The exception would be mixed uses in office and retail areas. Article 30 provides a relaxation of requirements of large paved surfaces on large industrial lots, allowing permeable surfaces. Requirements of long paved drives were also eliminated. All apron approaches will be paved. Per Regional Planning Commission's recommendation, the word rural was removed to avoid conflict for interpretation of this. Article 30 allows for landscaping to be used as screening and not just fencing. Article 31, additional height was allowed for landscaping under signs. The square footage for signs was not increased on this. Article 31 is again mentions the removal and the use of billboard off-site sign advertising is a permitted use in the area, so that removes it all. Article 34.7, language for accessory structures was simplified and provides regulations on sizes of accessory structures in regards to the principal structure, which is the residence. Because we've had some instances where someone wants to build an accessory structure larger than the house itself. Conflicting regulations on setbacks for accessory structures was corrected per Regional Planning Commission's recommendations. Article 34.18 provides guidelines for fill within a township. Per Regional Planning Commission's recommendations, language was added stating Hamilton County departments will regulate this, and the township would regulate the zoning and observe compliance per county's requirements. Article 34.19 provides language allowing only decorative fences in the front yard, no chain link fences. Swimming pool enclosures were also addressed in this section. The amount of openness of a fence was adjusted per Regional Planning Commission's recommendations. Language was added so any proposed large-scale alternative energy system would be a two-system hearing by Zoning Commission and trustees for approval. Article 35, language stating public meetings by social media was removed per Regional Planning Commission's recommendations. House Bill 33, passed last year by the state, allowed for municipalities to use social media to advertise for public hearings, but they did not allow this for townships. This section also is where the operations for the zoning commissions were moved to. And that is a summary of it, so any questions?
Yeah, like the chicken, the part about the chickens, was that changed much from the way it used to be, or was it all added new?
It was added, and it was taken strictly from Hamilton County's language.
Because I guess the only issue I had with it that people aren't allowed to sell the eggs or whatever.
That's a state law.
It's a state law.
State law. Even at flea markets now, if you are auctions are located, you are supposed to have a permit. So that's a lot of new state regulations coming out. A lot of them are gray yet, they're still working on them. But we were talking about that at our house auction center, when they're having their outdoor vendors. They're not supposed to be allowed to bring in any type of eggs because you're removing them off your property.
So if you do raise them, you can sell them at your property?
Sell them legally at your property, because then.
Well, I thought it said you
come in and do
couldn't.
an inspection on your property, but if you carry them off of your property.
Right.
And take them to someplace else, you're legally not supposed to be able to sell them unless you have a permit. But the permit process is not clear yet. It's sort of like the marijuana process. We're still dealing with the changes. We tried to write the book to add the new recreational, but there's still changes coming out from the state. So a lot of this is in that gray area that we're working with.
So you can sell them at your house if you have, okay, I misread it. I misread it. I thought you couldn't.
Because
Right.
they can't do the inspection on the site.
Right, it's just kind of like if you set up at a festival, you have to cook all your food there. You can't make food at home and bring it to the festival. It has to be done on site. It's probably kind of the same thing.
Still a gray area, so I read it probably, when did we work on this? 8 weeks ago? We
Yeah.
were
Yeah, I
reviewing
misread
it.
it. I thought you couldn't sell them at your house, but that's fine.
Sell them at the house because
Right.
they can do an inspection on your coop.
Right,
Where if you're in public, they don't know where the eggs came from.
right. It was up to 10, I think.
Yes.
It's hens.
If you hear a rooster and you go by my house, it's not from my house. Just let me tell you that.
You guys sell eggs?
I take, yeah. I don't have anything else. I mean, I can tell you put a lot of work into it.
Gordon, tell us the process. What happens next?
Well, we did all our reviews. We submitted this to regional planning commissions, and they have returned with comments. I have adjusted those comments to reflect in our code. So the next step would be for trustees to move for motion for adoption of this.
Okay. I think that has to be by resolution.
Yes.
So, and I'm trying from memory the process we did last time. Does it have to go back to planning again or not again? Okay.
Once the trustees adopt it, then it becomes our new.
And we have to file it with the Hamilton County Law Library. I know that. Produce a copy for them.
Yeah, if there were major corrections we needed from regional planning, then the zoning commission would have met again.
Okay.
For that, but they were minor items. Basically, it was language. So we made these corrections just for submittal.
So you want the trustees to review this, and at the next meeting, maybe they have changes they want you to make, but they're in agreement, you would,
I mean, I don't know if they have reviewed this in the past week, but I assume they can make a motion tonight if
oh,
they were
resolution.
satisfied with it.
Yeah, we've had this for like a week or so.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay.
Read everything I thought.
So if it's ready to go, we need, you need to do it by resolution.
Yeah.
So you would have to come up with whatever our next resolution is or
Okay,
whatever.
while you go in executive session, for the maintenance, I'll get the resolution, so when you come out,
Okay.
we can approve the
I
maintenance.
give I give this to you too.
Does anybody, either you have any other issues with anything, Chuck?
No, not really. I mean, we're not doing anything with the marijuana business, so everything that was here I thought was pretty straightforward, and I appreciate all the work you put into it. I know it's a lot of reading and listening to regional planning down there, and then you got to incorporate it, so you done that, and I thought it was a good document.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As mentioned, I did give you a draft of an possible ordinance for marijuana uses. The only thing I really could see is if they build an indoor grow facility around, because they have control environments for that. But, I give you a copy of Regional Planning Commission's recommendations, and, it had some wording on that too. So
Right.
it's something that could be added later if something is.
Yeah, well, I'd like to hash on that a while.
Yes.
Yeah, I review it, and I thought you guys did a great job. I know you spent a lot of time on it, so, and, lucky on you every 5 years, huh?
Yes. Start up again in about 3.
Yeah.
The only question is on the zoning map, where are we gonna have office located? If we have to have, do we have to have an office district located on the zoning map? Is that what they're requesting?
It could be established as a PUD. In any case, in most cases, if you have industrial uses, office buildings are permitted within that.
Right.
The office district really just kind of gives guidelines on that. So
Okay.
if someone just really wanted to build some office buildings,
I didn't
You'd probably
know
have to
if
do
they
some
were
zone
requesting
changes.
that we, since you did so much on the office with the prelude right there, I didn't know if they were requesting that we have a designated office district.
they
And-
did not.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's,
But
that
that
answers.
it was kind of figured that any office building would be associated with any industrial stuff we have out
Right,
there.
go in light industry, it would go in heavy industry.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, fine.
All right, thanks.
Okay, it's old business. The only thing I wanted to bring up, which I met with a guy from Pro Alert Protective Systems right after our last meeting, and he came here and looked at our panel. And he said that this, of course, the system can only be maintained by Johnson Controls. They've got you have to code to get into it, so it's basically, we would have to get a whole new system if we switched. And he sent us a proposal that the new system would be, I got it all written, $7,800. And then after that, the monthly fee is $45 per month, and then a $350 a year inspection fee. And then that's all we would have to pay after the initial,
If we didn't need an external antenna. External antenna was another $370.
Oh, okay.
$375.
Yeah, he said
It
this,
just depends on how much
like.
internet we got
Yeah.
out here, coverage, and sometimes we don't have much.
Because it's hooked up to a landline right now, so I guess we're paying for a phone line for that, a landline for that system, which he says we wouldn't need anymore. He said it's kind of out of date the way it's set up, and it's supposed to have an inspection tag on it every year, and there's no tag on it that it's been inspected. But the system he puts in would not be like private. Anybody could you could switch it to another company or whatever, if you would not go with them anymore or whatever.
I'm pretty much happy with the price that he gave us. It's going to be cheaper in the long run by a big time.
Yeah, their labor rate's like $95 an hour,
So
paying $350 an hour for
That-
labor.
Does this include both buildings?
It's whatever that, I mean, he looked at that.
Okay, because we're paying for Johnson Control in the maintenance building as well.
so
Is that
he would
part
have
of
to
the
do-
whole thing?
We'd have to
Yes.
do both buildings.
He'd have to come back and, so that's a whole separate system in there?
Yes.
So maybe I'll have him come back and look at that then. I didn't realize that was, well, it happened kind of quick, because he's like, oh, I'm in your area, I had a cancellation, I could meet you, and I think
When's our
Brenda had
cancel-
something
when-
going on
When's the
here.
date that we have to cancel our other
I'd have to
contract?
look.
Yeah, I know it's like October, November, so, and check to make sure you don't have to give them so much heads up. And then they should pay it, if they take it out, I mean, it's ours, he says that they might give us something for it. Well, I mean, it's
That'll-
worthless to us,
Yeah, well, that'll be interesting.
because we technically own it.
May I ask a quick question? What do they protect from? Is this like
This
the
is just
fire?
fire, they'll
Just
do
fire, that's what I'm
both,
wondering.
but this is like what we have now, and it would be the same.
Okay, just
This is
wondering.
basically all we can use of theirs is the wiring, because everything else is all in their system.
Got it.
And they're close, it's a 353 number, so it's
Like what?
he's a local person.
Yeah.
And
I
he
don't
does,
have a-
he,
I don't
he
have a
does
problem.
Whitewater Township's where I got the information from. He does all theirs.
So get a price on the maintenance building.
I'll
I don't
have
have
them
a
look at
problem
that.
switching to this
Yeah,
company,
we need
so.
to.
All right.
Because Brian gave us the printout of what we're paying, and it's a lot. Okay, well, I'll get more info. And if, Brian, if you can check on,
Cancellation date.
yes, because I knew it was like October or something, but you probably have to let them know ahead of time, and if we don't, I'm sure they want you to get past that, then they can force you to have it for another 5 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Someone had emailed, I don't know if all of us or me, about a fire pit issue, but I think I told them they could come here or whatever, and I guess they didn't, so.
I think it was forwarded to the fire chief. Did he do anything? Do you know, Brenda?
I don't know beyond
Okay.
forwarding it.
No,
Mhm.
that's all I got. Dennis?
All right, a lot of my stuff is going to have to do with the new fire department addition, but it's old business. Met with Bob May and Alta Construction Manager, and that was last week. And right now, the start date is August. So we'll see what happens there. I did sign the change order for the new lockers to be installed, so that's what added $7,000 to the price. On the fire department, Bob requested, or they requested, a tax exempt certificate from our office, so I'm assuming they got that from Brian.
I'll get it to him.
Okay. And the project manager is Brandon Winstead, and according to him, they're getting their subcontractors lined up for the August start date. The May billing, they were wanting to get paid, and Bob's holding back. He's not approved it yet because Bob needs a LIN release from the April draw from the architect. He needs a copy of the performance bond, which they haven't provided yet. Needs a copy of the permit plans and a permit from Hamilton County. So they're kind of dragging their feet on some of this paperwork, but that's where we're at there.
Have they requested a notice of commencement?
Not that I know of.
Okay, probably gonna need that. I can prepare it.
Okay. I never heard of that, so that's new to me.
Because usually am I correct, Alan, they have a commencement date and then they have so many days to complete it?
Say that again?
On the notice to commencement, usually that includes like 120 days to finish the project,
Well, it's.
and then they'd have to,
It lays out the information needed if somebody wants to protect their payment if they're not getting paid.
yeah.
So they want a notice of commencement so they know where to send it.
So the subs, if they're not,
The
out, they're not
subs
paying
and-
the subs,
yeah.
they know where to check.
Right.
Okay.
So then I met with Glenn Buckley. His property lines up with the fire department property on the east side. And he's got a big tree that's overhanging our building that we gotta demolish. And so I talked to him about removing the tree. And then he's got a walnut tree that's growing in our parking lot. And so I got a hold of Cincinnati Tree Service to give me an estimate on trimming the tree. And prune the tree back, he wants $1,150 to do all the trimming. And then I thought there's one dead fir tree in Glenn's yard. I thought, being a good neighbor, we'd take that out with it. So,
I'm not sure you can spend money on that township.
okay. Well, but, so it's gonna be to prune the trees and trim out the tree that's overhanging, $1,150. So, he gave me a price on cutting the big tree all the way down, and he gave me a price for just doing the whole job, which we aren't going to be able to do that. So if you want to take in, since he threw that dead tree in there, I'm just going to take and say it's $1,000, even if you want to approve $1,000 to do the trimming.
Yeah, you want to make a motion?
I move that we appropriate $1,000 to trim the tree back on the Buckley property so that we can access our construction needs.
I'll second it. Roll call.
Mr. Lohman?
Yes.
Mr. Hyde?
Yes.
Mr. Heiss?
Yes.
That's it? Huh?
Speed bumps.
That's new business.
That's the only reason they're staying. Chuck, old business?
Yeah, I brought this up in the past. Debbie from Sickle Grove asked about putting signs up like they do at Rumpy Barfield, and which is next to Brown Farm Markets. So I called Ohio Department of Transportation, ODOT, in Columbus. That was over a week ago, and he's told me he need to refer that to the Hamilton County ODOT office. Now I haven't heard anything back from them yet, so I'm still waiting to see if they put signs up. Because that one motorcycle person got killed right in front of.
So it's just a reduced speed limit? Is that what they're wanting?
No, they get one sign like park entrance, busy, and there's busy,
Yeah.
something like that. So, and then that one lady on Oxford Road, she want a fire plug, so I called the Southwest Regional Water District. I found out there is a fire hydrant, a fire plug at the corner of Race Lane and Oxford Road, which is probably like a block away. So I told her it would cost $45,000 if she wanted to put one in. So she's gonna call the firms of the Shakers and see if they might want to put a fire hydrant in front of their houses. So I could call her and told her about that. So she's looking into that. And the other thing is the Crosby Township Insurance Society. We do have liability insurance on log cabin. I'm sorry, on the old town hall. So now we got liability insurance on the log cabin. So we're covering ourselves both at the old town hall and the log cabin. So that's all I have.
All right, new business, I have none. Dennis,
I have speed bumps.
did you go to the doctor for that?
Yeah. Uline has rubber speed bumps, and they're called speed humps. They're 20 inches long, 36 inches wide, and 2 inches high. And then you would have to buy what they call a female and a male end cap, and I'm assuming one would be in each lane, because then that would make the right thing. So the humps are $145 each, and the end caps are $135 each.
No,
So
where's
where
this
you wanna
at, Dennis?
We would be looking at putting them on Long Street, because there's people cutting through Long Street going 40, 50 mile an hour to pass the people going on the New Haven Road, and then come back out and feed them going the other way.
I hear what you're saying, but this could open up Pandora's box that anybody that wants a speed hump will be calling you guys once they see it, that there might be some thought put into some kind of policy on how and why we put in speed humps. I know with
So
the
that's not willy-nilly?
Yeah, and the thing is like with the city, they would send out questionnaires to like the residents on that street, and they'd have to get a % of the residents say, yeah, we want them, or no, we don't. Because, you know, there's some of these streets that people don't want them, even though there could be a benefit, enough people don't want them on their street, so they don't get them put in. But I'm
Okay.
just saying that's something, if you want to do it for this street, fine, but this is something that maybe we could take a step back and think, hey, you know, what do we need to do? Because once people see that, they'll be coming out of the woodwork, I would think, saying, hey, we want them on every street. And I know, like in my neighborhood, the city of Harrison does not allow speed humps on any of our streets in our subdivision.
Oh, yeah?
But I'm just saying, you know, that's something we need to, as a township, to decide whether we want to do that or
Okay,
not, and how we
fine.
do it. Please?
It's not in the subdivision, it's in the town.
But people have like complained at Fort Scott already about people speeding, so the problem is they're gonna see them there, and then they're gonna say, well, why can't
They
we?
don't have the distance and what these people are doing. I mean, they're coming down.
Oh, I know what they're doing.
60 miles an hour, and they shoot down that back street, because they're gonna kill somebody.
And we have handicap back there, and we also have plenty.
Well, I hear you, and
Well,
Then
but the
maybe
thing-
we should maybe send a flyer.
But I'm
We'll
just saying,
send
you know,
a postcard. Then maybe we should send a postcard to all the residents on that street and see what feedback we get.
How will this work with winter plowing?
Well, they take them up in the
You
fall.
can take them up in the wintertime.
I know Lawrenceburg does them because I visit somebody in a nursing home off of 48, and they're gone they're there now and they're gone in the wintertime. They
But-
That's the biggest problem, is because it's people from Rumpke Ballpark, they're running from one ballpark to the other one, and they're just, I mean, driving like bat out of Hades to eat everybody
Yeah.
to the other field. Taking them up in the wintertime.
you know, the other thing is not to put a fly in the ointment, but the thing is, you're going to nail them down. You're going to have to adhere them to the street somehow.
Right.
I
they
would've-
nail it in. I think they just pop them off.
But you're putting a hole in the asphalt.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is either you need to plug it with something, or it is going to do the freeze thaw, and your asphalt's going to bust up.
Oh, yeah.
Quicker.
I agree.
So you need to figure out what you're going to do when
I
you
just
take them out.
tar 'em when you take them out or something, the holes.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm
right.
just saying that's something
be
you
an
need to
easy-
think about
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
especially on these new streets.
Well, they won't be on New Street.
We'll just let
Okay.
we'll let
Not
the
yet.
road deteriorate.
We will table that until we go down there and meet with the residents or send them a
Whatever.
postcard or something, but it'd probably go down there some evening and just go down there and talk to people. So,
But I'm just saying, you know, that,
okay, I appreciate your input. I mean, you bring stuff to light that
Yeah.
we don't think about all the time. So I'm not going to fire you over it.
Yeah.
you
I don't-
can't. I don't work for you yet.
He can tell Matt that while he's on his trip.
You need,
All right.
do you need signs put up too, if you put those in?
No.
New signs?
Well, you might be able to
Speed
paint them on the street, speed humps or something,
Yeah.
or,
You don't have to warn them. The ones I go over, there's no warning. They're just there.
bump. You can hit it, huh?
That's all I have.
All right, Chuck.
None.
Right, other concerns? The only thing I had was, we periodically bring it up to call 811 if you're gonna dig in your yard. They usually come within a day, and it's free to mark your underground utilities. And then, are we gonna have a meeting like in November, like we did last year? Like,
this is my suggestion. I would like to have that planning and organizational meeting like we did in November. And, no, well, the chief's not here. But my thought is we have that, pick a date, I don't care. But the thing is anybody that's gonna put a budget request in for more staff, equipment, whatever, that needs to go to the trustees 1 week before that meeting. So you guys, the trustees, have a chance to look at what people are asking for. So when we're sitting down, you hand it to you at the meeting, and you're trying to digest that in 15 minutes. Number one. Number two is, this is what I'd like, and I don't know whether Matt will buy off on this or not, but, we do this like 2 weeks before the November meeting, or before the December meeting.
Last year, I think we did the first
But-
Monday in November. It was the
but,
week before our November meeting.
But, so if we could do the planning and organizational meeting before this November meeting, that way, you guys, the trustees, come up with what you want to include in the budget. If it gives us a week, we can try to crunch it to get the budget to you guys to review at the November meeting, and then make your changes or comments, so we don't have to have this special meeting at the end of December. That if we get you the budget in November, you look at it, say we like it, we don't. Here's our changes that we'd like to have after the planning meeting. Then in December, give you the budget in December. That way, we don't have to have a special meeting to approve the budget. That's my thought, and that's how I'd like.
So is
And I don't
is
know
that
if-
week before the meeting enough, okay, or?
We're just gonna, everybody's gonna just put it in your mailbox,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
not,
so that, November 4th would be the first
Monday, yeah.
Monday of November.
so, they have to have it in,
Right, it would have to
a
be in
week before in
middle of
October.
October, basically.
Well, yeah, they'd have to have it
Before,
the Monday before the 4th.
which would be the
So you got-
28th.
Well, at the next meeting, we'll set the parameters on
That's fine.
that.
But
And-
that's how I'd like to do it, so we don't have
Sure.
to have these special meetings at the end of the
Okay.
year. It's getting to the point now, I think, where the budget, we kind of roll on it, so it's not, but the big thing will be is what everybody's bringing to the table, what they want.
Okay.
And then, I don't know when in November, if you guys, when we talk about, cost of living or raises or whatever, but that'll have to be figured in there somewhere in this
In that-
process,
That meeting?
But yeah. So,
Well, we can hammer it down next month, I guess.
Yeah.
yep,
Okay.
that would be fun.
That's all I got. for-
Matt will be back, so he can like it or not like it.
Okay. I move that we go into executive session to discuss the maintenance supervisor position with the candidate
And then also Brian's.
and Brian's.
Are these two different matters?
Yes.
All right.
And we would want you, if you could come with us.
Well, we need to make sure we specifically, I'm looking at executive session can be used to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, and investigation of charge of complaints. So I understand there's two different issues.
I also got one.
Pardon me? Is there another one?
I got,
Are there three?
I want to talk about the full-time firefighters. I think y'all got a copy of that. Could you look at that?
A little bit.
That, I guess, within the last week or two, Jason gave us a copy of that. Said a couple of things I need to talk to you guys about.
Be an employment also.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah,
let's
back-
vocalize,
Start with Dennis first.
vocalize the reasons that we're calling an executive session.
Can you do three at one time, or you do one after another?
We can do one right after the other, but
Just, let's go into it. I suggest you go into executive session, but before you do so, you state if there's
Awesome.
more than one reason.
I stated my
Okay.
reason.
Okay, and then if there's anyone you want to invite to the executive session, you can do that as well, okay?
Dennis, you go first.
Well, we got Jim Niehaus. I'd like him to come back in the executive session and
Okay.
talk about his possible position
As,
as being the next maintenance supervisor.
okay.
And then what was this?
Mine is want to talk about the benefit of the full-time firefighters, vacation, sick time, whatever.
And then Brian
And then,
wanted it for,
Personnel issue regarding administrator position.
Okay.
And then do we
And
want?
Dennis,
we
or
want
not
Alan?
Dennis, Alan,
Yeah, we would like to have you, Alan.
Unemployment,
Okay.
yep. And, yeah,
unemployment too.
Alan, I'd like you in there.
You have to make I need a motion.
So move.
Oh,
I already, that we do all three,
all right. And
one
then,
right after the other.
so I'll second it.
Mr. Willman,
Yes.
Mr. Hyab,
Yes.
Mr. Heiss,
Yes.
So then Jim would come back first.
and then while you're in there, I'll work on that resolution
Okay.
for the,
Record at 9:10.
Yeah, make a motion to come out.
We don't have to do
assess-
that.
assess-
Don't need it.
We don't
You
have
don't
to do
need
that.
that.
Don't need a motion.
Not anymore?
No, he said you just say we're
Never
back
did.
on
You
record.
never did have to do it.
It's all right.
Something new.
It sounded good.
Okay, 9:10, back on the record.
All right, we gotta wait for our fiscal officer who's sitting in, get his.
okay.
All right, I move that we hire Jim Niehaus to be our new maintenance supervisor. His starting date would be August 1st. His pay during 3 months probation is $26,000. After the probation period, if he's still with us, we move him up to $28,000.
I'll second it. Roll call.
Mr. Willman,
Yes.
Mr. Heiss,
Yes.
Mr. Hyab,
Yes.
Confuse me.
okay.
Resolution?
Oh, yeah.
I have
The resolution number?
14-2024. It says trustee whoever made a motion to adopt resolution 14-2024 for the adoption of the zoning book with the subsequent revisions through 2024.
So move.
I second.
Roll call.
Mr. Willman,
Yes.
Mr. Hyab,
Yes.
Mr. Heiss.
Yes. I
Sign
have a lot
this.
of stuff back, if you want copies.
I just want this.
Yeah.
Oh, we also need the minutes to sign, the approved minutes from last meeting.
Let me get you I'll
And
get
our-
the final minutes. Here's this. And then,
Yeah, not my copies. You want to make a copy of that? Come on.
This?
Yeah.
okay,
Or you can have one or somebody make copies.
okay, yeah. And then Dennis, I'll get you after the meeting, so.
Then our next regular business meeting will be August 12th, 2024 at 7 PM.
I won't be there.
Alan won't be there. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make that motion.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Willman,
Yes.
Mr. Hyab,
Yes.
Mr. Heiss.
Yes.
9:15.
I was making sure that I was gonna be here.